You probably wouldn't expect a rapper to write a 3-minute and 38-second diss track on a bank, but it happened.
PNC got me fucked up, they talking about, I told her I want 20,000 cash.
So today we're going to be discussing if why NW Melly was right about PNC Bank, or if they're actually a solid place to keep your money. We'll be going over their checking account, saving account, credit cards, loans, and how you can get a free $400. But before we get into it, make sure you subscribe because it really helps out the channel. So when you open up an account with PNC Bank, you're actually going to have to open up 3 separate accounts. One's a checking account, one's a saving account, and then one's their high yield savings account. For your checking account, you're going to have 3 different options. You can go with their virtual wallet with performance spend, or their virtual wallet with performance select. Now don't get confused about the whole virtual wallet thing. This is literally just their basic checking account. It confused me a little bit too at first, but they're just trying to sound modern by calling it a virtual checking account. They have a reputation of being really outdated because they didn't update their website for like 20 years. So now they're trying to overcompensate by using fancy words like virtual to try to convince people that they're modern. Now these accounts are pretty much all the same, but the more premium checking account you choose, the higher sign-up bonus you're going to get. So you'll earn 100 for the base one, 200 for the middle tier, and then 400 for the high tier. But to get these sign-up bonuses, you're going to have to direct deposit $500 for the base one, $2,000 for the spend account, $2,000 for the middle account, and then $5,000 in direct deposits for their premium account. Also, as you go up to the higher tier accounts, the monthly service charge gets higher and higher. And I wouldn't really recommend opening up a checking account with PNC Bank unless you're just trying to hit that sign-up bonus, because there's so many options that don't charge you fees for banking with them. It's really not worth it to bank with an account that charges you fees. So that's 1 point for Melly. I said that they force you to open up 3 accounts. The checking account is 1, and then you get 2 savings accounts. The first is their standard savings account, and it does come with $250,000 of FDIC insurance, and there's no minimum balance to open up this account. But there is a monthly service charge of $5. Unless you have an average monthly balance of $300, it's linked to your PNC checking account, or you automatically transfer $25 into your savings account each period, or you're a minor. So you can just link this to your PNC bank account and then not put any money, and you don't have to worry about it. And I wouldn't put any money in here because their rates are really trash. They make it a little bit confusing with reserve and growth and standard rates, but you don't have to worry about the savings account because their high yield savings account is the one that you should be using. It's going to give you 4.65% on all your uninvested cash. There's 0 minimum deposit to open it, and there's no monthly service charge or minimum balance requirement. You can also have unlimited deposits and transfers from this account. So far, their savings account is the best thing about this bank, and not a bad place to keep your money if you ask me. Now let's move on to the more exciting things, which is going to be their credit cards. We'll start from their lowest tier credit cards and then move all the way up to their elite credit card. So their lowest card is going to be their secured card. If you don't know what a secured card is, that's a card meant to build up credit or establish credit for people that don't have any. So the way this is going to work is you're going to open up the account with a refundable security deposit from $300 to $2,500. And then once you're approved, that security deposit is going to be your new limit. So let's say you put in a $300 security deposit, you're going to get $300 to spend every month as your credit limit. But there's no rewards that come with this card, and there's definitely some better secured cards out there if you need to build credit. Next is their PNC Points Visa card. For this card, you're going to need to qualify for at least a credit limit of $500, and you're also going to get a bonus offer of 100,000 points after you make a $1,000 purchase within 3 months, as well as 5 to 7 points as long as you have a PNC checking account. And if you know anything about credit cards, you're probably thinking this is an insane offer because even Amex cards don't offer that high of a sign-up bonus. But don't get too excited because these are pretty much the worst credit card points I've ever seen from any credit cards because they're only going to redeem at 0.2 cents. For reference, most credit card points redeem around 1 cent per point. So for this $100,000 sign-up bonus, you're most likely only going to get $100 worth of value from that. And you can't redeem it for cash back or travel. It's for a bunch of trash stuff like gift cards and merchandise. So you can get some use out of this card, I guess, if you have a PNC checking account. But for the most part, I'd just avoid this. Next, you got their PNC Core Visa card. And this card doesn't give you any rewards, but it's going to act as a 0 balance transfer and purchase APR card. Meaning if you purchase anything within the first 15 months of having this card, you're not going to have to pay any interest. And if you have another credit card with a huge balance that you're paying interest on, you can move it over to this card and then not have to pay any interest on the first 15 months, as long as you move it over within the first 90 days. Next up on the list, we have the PNC Cash Unlimited Visa, which is going to give you an unlimited 2% back on every single one of your purchases. Now for this, you're going to have to qualify for a credit limit of at least $5,000. And some of the benefits that come with this card is no caps on how much you can earn. The cashback never expires and there's no foreign transaction fees in case you're going overseas. This card also gives you 0 introductory APR on purchases and balance transfers for the first 12 months, which is going to act just like the other one. But this card is going to come with a higher credit limit, so still pay off your balances every single month because you don't want to have a huge balance on this credit card and think it's fine because you're not paying any interest, but then after that period ends, you have a balance you can't pay off, and then you start paying interest on that. So don't fall into that trap. So this card's going to work as a catch-all card, meaning you can throw all your miscellaneous purchases and utilities on there and get 2% back on everything. Now for the best of their cards and the favorite of my cards, I actually just put this card in a video that I just made about the most underrated credit cards. So this card's pretty good and I feel like not a lot of people talk about it. And that's going to be their cash rewards Visa. So for this card, you're going to get $200 back. You make $1,000 or more purchases in the first 3 months of opening the account. 1% on all your purchases, as well as 4% back at gas stations, 3% back at restaurants, 2% back at grocery stores for the first $8,000 combined in these 3 categories. So the reason that I like this card is you get a nice little sign-up bonus that's not too hard to hit, and it covers 2 of your biggest spending categories, which is gas and food. And also this is a Visa card, so it's going to work with Costco gas. This is definitely going to be a good card if you don't already have a card that's giving you cash back for gas or dining. So definitely a solid card if you already bank with PNC Bank. And you can combine this with the Cash Unlimited card. It's going to give you 2% back on everything that the Visa Cash Rewards card doesn't give you. So now let's move on to the last section of this video, which is going to be their loans. I'm just going to cover their auto and personal loans because those are 2 of the main things that people are taking out. And something that's really nice that they have is the ability to refinance your auto loan, which not a lot of banks have. And they don't show you the interest rates on their website, but if you go to Google, you can see that their rates range from 6.69% to 21%. So not a horrible rate, but you can definitely get a better rate from a credit union. And if you move over to their personal loans, they're going to give you a loan from $1,000 to $20,000. And what I like about this loan is there's no early repayment penalty. So if you just need some quick money and then you can repay it after you get paid, you're not going to be penalized for this. Also, it's kind of hard to find the interest rate for this. On their website, they just put fixed rate for APR. But if you Google it, it looks like their rates are going to be from 8.19% to 24%. And if you can qualify for that 8.19%, that's actually really good. So definitely some solid personal loans if you have good enough credit. So overall, this is a pretty solid bank. And I like this more than a lot of other big banks like Bank of America or Chase because that high yield savings account is going to give you a really nice rate. And they also have 2 pretty solid credit cards. One common complaint that I see from a lot of people is that they're super outdated, but it looks like they just updated their website. So unless you're like Melly and you want 20,000 cash, you're probably going to be fine. If you're still not sure about PNC Bank and you're still in the market for another bank account, go watch my review on SoFi Bank. And make sure you leave a like if you found any value in this video.